Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters, what a beautiful day here in my city of Coventry. And this is really the discussion today regarding the city of Coventry, is where I live. It's a very small city, not far from Birmingham, maybe 25 minutes in the vehicle. It's not far at all from another major city called Birmingham. I'm sure you're aware of in the UK. First of all, I'd like to say wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah to our sister Salika. Hopefully, she's got a mic and camera fixed. We can get her on. Hopefully, Sister House, inshallah, feel free to join on. And hopefully, there will be some brothers and sisters joining me later on today. But today, guys, I really want to talk about this topic here. Is your local council failing you? Now, guys, I was born in the 1970s, early 1970s. I know, don't look it, I look a lot younger, mashallah. But alhamdulillah. But nevertheless, guys, I was born here in the 1970s, and I've seen so much change here in my city of Coventry regarding the population, regarding housing, and so forth. I don't know regarding your areas, and this is why I would like to get you on and talk about your particular situation. So in my area here is a very diverse, multicultural BME area, a lot of, minority ethnic groups here. High population, second high, I would say, of Muslims here in the area where I live in, called Foleshill in Coventry. And like I said, Foleshill is a very unique place. It's a very diverse place, very culturally mixed. Everybody seems to get on really well. There's no drama. We don't hear of much racism or anything like that. Yes, there is elements of crime, which you're going to get that in every city. But we're not going to actually talk about the crime right now, because I actually feel the police here, even though they're quite small in number, nevertheless, I think they do a pretty good job here. I think the police do a very good job. I think everything is quite, safe here, reasonably safe, I should say, compared to other bigger places like Birmingham and so forth. But there's so much to talk about. As you know, guys, those brothers and sisters living in the UK, the NHS, the nurses, like a couple of years ago, we were every Thursday standing outside. Well, I wasn't, but other people were. And we were told by our prime ministers and leaders to stand outside every 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening and clap the NHS. We know now that they're going on strike because of the pay. We know the ambulances now are on strike. So if you need to have a dialogue with your young children, and maybe wrap them up in a mattress or wrap them up in bubble wrap just in case they fall over and break their legs or hurt themselves, guys, start doing it now, because there's not going to be an ambulance within a couple of minutes to come and pick them up. The army will come and take them. So you got soldiers now driving ambulances to deal with this situation. And I really want you to come on and talk about your own specific area. Do you feel your council is failing you? Recently, just for me to walk from my house to the local gym, which is the gym I normally go to, is probably about 4-minute walk. And within that 4-minute walk, and the streets I go through, every corner, there's some type of fly tipping. I'm not on about like a sack of rubbish or a refuse, but I'm on about shopping trolleys. I'm on about like fridges, sofas, tables, old TVs, just constantly dumped. And they've been there for many a period, maybe a couple of weeks by now. And since it's been raining quite heavy in the UK, in Coventry, the drains, they're blocked. So the drainage system, the water cannot, the drainage system cannot soak up the water. So the roads and streets are flooded. And then vermin. Brothers and sisters, I really want you to think about this now. Like I said, it takes me 4 minutes to walk to the gym. And in those four minutes of travel, I probably go through 4 to 5 different roads and streets. No shadow of a doubt, brothers and sisters. Every road or street I walk through, there's a dead rat. There's vermin. Sometimes they run past you, fearless. Why do you think this is? Is it because of the refuse? And I'm really passionate about this, guys, because like I said, I was born in Coventry in the 70s. I haven't moved out of Coventry. I lived here all my life. And it's sad to see that we've come to this situation. But alhamdulillah, we've got our brother Omar joining us now. And of course, alhamdulillah, he can speak about his experiences living in this area. Brother Omar, I'm going to bring you in now, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. The rat problem. Where we live, we have got the canal.
Oh, yeah.
And the same for you, both the houses, both your homes, you've got the canal, so you're going to get rats. I've actually seen, a couple of years ago, one summer, I went out about 5 o'clock in the morning, and I watched a family of rats down the street, across the road. A family of rats, and I mean, not talking 2 or 3, at least 5, as I remember, at least 5. Rats have always been a hated creature because they spread disease. They do spread disease. I'm from up north, and I remember being a small child of around about 7. My father was walking me home, and there was this, and rats have a thing. They don't run in the open. They will run up against a wall and along that wall. And then my father kicked its head in. My father always told me, you see rats, destroy them, kill them, because they spread so much disease. And with the fly tipping, the rats love it. The rats love it because it gives them somewhere warm and away from prying eyes. It allows them to sneak out here and there. I'm forever having a battle with the rats in the back garden. They're just one of them creatures which was created for a reason, and they're consistently breeding. They don't breed once every season. Every I think it's every 6 weeks, 6 or 8 weeks they breed. So they're consistent, and they don't have separate relations. I'm trying to think of a polite way of putting it.
I understand. Like I said, Brother Omar, it takes me, like, when I go to the gym, even when I drive around the area, every road and street, there is a dead rat. Don't doubt about that. Or you see a rat running around every corner of where I live here in Folesville. And I like my area, don't get me wrong, it's very diverse. You got all the banks here, everything's close, shops are very close, you got the facilities of the Rico, you got the shopping malls, everything's very close here. But one thing that really bothers me is when people throw out stuff. Like recently I've just posted something on my social media where on the corner there's about 7 or 8 trolleys, shopping trolleys now full with rubbish bags, and there's a table there now, there's a fridge there now, there's an old push bike there now. And the problem is that these trolleys are being used to transport the rubbish. So now it's like it's ridiculous, Brother Omar. It's like they use this shopping trolley. Now they will take the shopping trolley, take it to back of their garden, put the stuff into the rubbish into the shopping trolley, bring it to that corner, empty the shopping trolley onto the goods of the rubbish onto the floor, take that and do another trip. So those shopping trolleys are there for a reason. But it's very sad, Brother Omar. Within last year, the Coventry City Council made £3 million profit from giving out tickets to people parking on double yellow lines. £3 million. Now, brothers and sisters, here where I live in Folesville, a small local area called Folesville in Coventry, there is a parking issue, no doubt about it. There is a parking issue. Every household has got minimum 2 to 3 cars, no doubt about it. And of course, these streets and roads weren't built for that kind of, parking issues. Traffic, exactly. Sorry, thank you for. Sometimes I'm so passionate, I'm lost for words. But alhamdulillah, I'm one of the blessed ones. And Brother Omar, I think, has got a drop curve. A drop curve is like you've got your own parking, so you can drive your vehicle onto your own land. So some places, properties have got the capability of paying for, it's called a drop curve. So basically, you can drive your vehicle onto your front of your garden, and then you can park it. But nevertheless, there's always a problem, whereas you park, and sometimes this can be for two vehicles. So if you've got a big driveway, you can put up to two vehicles into that location, and it's your own private parking. Legally, lawfully, no one's supposed to park their vehicle outside your premises where your drop curve is. But for example, I start work early in the morning, 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. And no doubt, there's always a vehicle blocking me in that I can't go out. And it's happened to me on numerous times where I've got to contact my workplace, tell them I've been blocked in. I've got to take a picture to prove that, I haven't slept in, or there's no other reason, but that's the truth, is that I've been blocked in. Then I have to go on my CCTV to find out when that vehicle parked there and who were the people who parked the car and which house they went to. And if I'm lucky enough to find out and trace which house they went into, then I'll go like 7:30 in the morning, knock on their door, ask them politely. And the problem is, brothers and sisters, you've got to ask politely. You can't be aggressive because you don't know who you're dealing with. Am I making sense, Brother Omar? What's your experience with that?
I get a parking problem all the time because I've got the factory opposite. They'll have visitors. If it's not the visitors, it's the guys who work there. For some reason, they just like to park on this side of the road when they've got ample parking, which they in the factory, it's tarmacked. They can put at least 20 vehicles in there if they wanted to. But it's sometimes it's people just being ignorant, and they'll just park across, and I can't park outside. Okay, everybody pays road tax. It's nice to park outside your own house. I'm a firm believer in, even when I've gone to weddings out of town, and you go to a different area, you don't block people in. It's bad manners. I was brought up in the old way. You have manners, treat other people. Then when I became a Muslim, everything came more prominent of what I was taught when I was a child. People have become self-centered, ignorant, arrogant. I had one today. A guy decided that he was going to cut me off and run me into the railings. And because I blasted me on at him, I was the one in the wrong. But
one thing I've noticed, Brother Omar, one thing I've noticed in the comments is that the faith is being mentioned. A lot of our viewers are saying it's the Muslims. Brothers and sisters, in my area, I'll be very truthful, and this is going to be very sincere. I do not think it's a Muslim issue or a Christian issue or a faith issue. It's about morals. I do think it's about a moral issue. When here in Coventry, we had so many people moving here, and Coventry was established in the 14th century, and it was one of the most powerfulest cities in England. And at one time, it was actually a capital. Coventry City was the capital of the UK, of England, back in the days. So there's a lot of history with Coventry. Coventry is well known for the cathedral in the town centre. The Queen Elizabeth came and visited it when it was bombed and so forth. And there's a lot of history with Coventry. It is a beautiful city. There are places of Coventry which are very beautiful, tranquil, green areas. But the issue here in Foleshill is not a Muslim thing or a Christian thing. Like I mentioned previously, that we've had so many immigrants and migrants coming here. We had people, individuals from the African countries come here, no issues whatsoever. We had people coming from Iraq and Iran and Kyrgyzstan and Afghanistan, no issues whatsoever. For me, and I'm not a racist, brothers and sisters, clearly I'm going to make this make this comment. It's the Eastern Europeans. It's the Europeans who've come here. They have come here for cheap labor because I was actually discussing this with some of my colleagues. Which young person is going to wake up 7 o'clock in the morning to start a job for £10 an hour? Nobody. No young person is willing to do to be employed for £10 an hour, as if they're lucky. £10. Normally it's about £9, £9.50 an hour. No young person is going to wake up 6, 7 o'clock in the morning to start their job. So what the government did here in the UK, they asked a lot of the European, I don't want to get into too much detail because I don't want to sound like I'm prejudiced or racist, to fill the workload. You know, so we got Brother Mustafa joining us now. I'd love to, Brother Omar, carry on, brother, please. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Mustafa.
Wa alaikum salam rahmatullah. How you doing, brothers? You okay, Brother Mohammed, Brother Omar, everything okay?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Nice to have you on here, brother. Nice to have you here. I have put the link in the chat, brothers and sisters. Feel free to come on and share your thoughts. Brother Mustafa, I just want to round up what I've been speaking about. I've been speaking about the local council and how it's failing certain members of the community. And I'll go into a very sensitive discussion because for me, it's not a Muslim thing or a Pakistani thing here in the city where I live. Majority of the fly tipping, the rubbish, is done by the Eastern Europeans. A category of people, I don't want to mention them just in case people might think I'm being prejudiced or racist. I'm far from that. So those people were brought into this country or asked to come into this country to fill in the roles that the young British men and women didn't want to do. They did not want to wake up 6, 7 o'clock in the morning to work for £10 an hour. So what the British government did, as we are fully aware of, is that they asked people from the EU to come over and work and fill in the employment vacancies. Are you following me? Are you following me so far, Brother Mustafa?
Very much so, yes.
So now the problem is that these people have made a mess, have caused so much environmental issues in my area. And, you know, who can we go to raise these concerns? Because the councillors, and unfortunately the councillors, all three of them here in my area of Foleshill, are all Muslims. The only time I've actually seen them is when they wanted to be voted in or when they knocked the doors, you know, the canvassing. Apart from that, I have never seen them. Brother Mustafa, do you know your councillors? Have you ever met them? Have you ever spoke to them?
No, to be honest, I've never met or seen them. Much similar to what you said. You see their pictures on the leaflets that they throw through to your home on a continuous basis during the election period, but you never hear from them afterwards. So what they're doing specifically, I don't know. I mean, I've got my own little theories as to why they're elected in the first place, but that's gonna be a bit of a side point. But you know, I'm not gonna say anything controversial here, but at the same time, I do believe that, you know, particularly for Asian people, this is just an honest assessment. I do think that power gets to their head. Yeah, power seems to get to their head. So if they've been given power by the powers that be, ones who are controlling things, they just seem to think that they can, do anything with that particular power. So this is quite endemic. I mean, in London as well, we've got a lot of Muslim councillors and a lot of Asian councillors who seem to be in prominent positions. But obviously, they're taking their orders from above, and they're essentially not interested in serving the communities, and looking after the communities. So I think it's just done on the surface level to show, look, we're a multicultural, multi-ethnic country or a multi-ethnic neighborhood, and therefore we've got representation to represent you. But those who do represent you, they are not bothered, to be honest. Put it in frank words.
MashaAllah, we've got another panelist joining us live right now, Brother Nasser Ilyas. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. How are you doing, brother?
Walaikum salam rahmatullah. How are you, brothers? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you good. Nice and clear.
Yeah, okay, that's good. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome, brother. We were just talking about regarding the area of we live in the area of Fawzul, because I recognize you now. Is that how diverse this area is, and I don't think it's a Pakistani thing. I don't think it's a Muslim thing. I actually think is like a cultural kind of thing, because we know, brother Nasser, since we've been living in Fawzul all our lives, people have come into this area from different parts of the world, and we've never seen this type of environmental issues where daily we see fly tipping, we see rats running around or dead rats, we see parking issues. How do you feel about it, brother, living in this area of Coventry?
Yeah, it's like when you travel into other areas, you see how people live. And although, like I did hear you earlier on mentioning that you're not a racist, but I personally do think, although it all starts from ourselves, and I do think it has started. It is a Muslim problem. This is my. I'm sorry to upset some viewers. Like brother was just talking, like when he goes and sees in other cities, other areas where there's loads of like a certain community in a certain area, and all areas are the same. Like if you go to Birmingham, Bradford, Manchester, Derby, so although I do agree that it's obviously it is, these areas have got like a high population of people coming from all over the world. Obviously they bring their ways and views here, but I think we are responsible for this in this area. Like you said,
in what way, brother? Explain.
Yeah, because like we've got a lot of these people who fly tip, who create this mess in our areas. They all live in they either HMOs or they live off rent, and a lot of these landlords are probably Muslim or Asians or Indian, or so I think they also bear a lot of responsibility as well.
Good point.
I think they should be penalized as well. So if someone's living in someone's house and creating this mess, I think by law, I think they are liable as well. And secondly, I think that this area is become a rent area as well. So we get people coming in evening. So I think that's a big issue as well. And
mashallah, you made some very good points, but I've got to push back. Whereas I actually don't think it's a Muslim thing. I actually think it's a cultural thing. As you know, and you know me pretty well, I was here I was born in the 1970s. I lived in the same area all my life so far, alhamdulillah. But I've got to mention that the only time I've seen this escalate is when people from the European background have come into this area and they have caused havoc. And like I said, we've got a diverse panel here. I'm not prejudiced against anybody. I'm not. Don't categorize me as that. We had African community come here from Eritrea, Somalia, Sudan. They were clean people, no dramas whatsoever. Okay, we had people from Kurdistan come here, Iran, Afghanistan, Iraq, no issues. Soon as this, for the last year and a half, we've seen this huge influence of people trying to fill in the workplace environment, because the young white males, English males, do not want to wake up at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning to work for £9.50 an hour, £10 an hour. And I was talking to somebody from the Coventry City Council employment sector. They were actually saying majority of the people working for the Coventry City Council now are over a certain age. There's no more young people working for the Coventry City Council. They are asking young people to work, but they don't want to work. So what they have to do is encourage people from a different, apart from the EU, to come in and fill in that kind of space. What's your take on that, brother?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think we're like, that's the background, but we're in this situation now where we have to live with these people. So I think how I see it, there's either these people need educating. I think what there needs to be a dialogue. Like, I think the council, and especially the councils, need to engage with these people physically. So I think dialogue is the key here, and educating. And I know a lot of like situations where people have been contacting me. Long, there's some fly tipping on Churchill Avenue. There's someone's just dumped their mattress somewhere, or some bags. But they also tell me that the house where these bin bags have come from, their bins are actually clean, spotless. So I think there is, I think the council, especially, and the councillors need to educate these people. I think what there needs to be like a dialogue, and I think so rather waiting for us to contact them, I think these guys need to walk these streets. And I just walked Churchill Avenue, and it's horrendous.
It's shocking, brother, especially when it started to rain. When it started to rain, because I walk from my house to the gym, Cyclone Gym on the Folsall Road, and it takes me about 4 or 5 minutes. And within those couple of streets I have to go through to get to the gym, I see, brother, it depresses you.
It does, yeah.
Mentally, it kind of breaks you down, because you want to be in a positive frame of mind, and when you leave your house, all you see is dog mess on the floor. You see blocked drains. You see, you see. You just read, brothers and sisters. You've got to see it to kind of understand it. But brother and Nasser, you made some very valuable points, because I remember we used to have a scheme called the neighborhood warden scheme, where there used to be people who used to patrol the area and highlight these issues and give out flyers and information and talk to residents. Where they can, get rid of their domestic waste and so forth. If they've missed the bins, the bin men coming, you can take it there, or you can rebook it. But those are gone now because of the cuts. Yeah. So now what people are doing, and like you perfectly, mashallah, said it perfectly, lack of education. But these people are European. These are European people who should be fully aware how to communicate. There's no language barrier here, brother. Yeah. There's no language barrier. I actually do think is that now it's come to a stage is lawless, meaning not like a crime level. I'm on about when it comes to environmental issues. Is law, brother? You can dump anything you like now. You can dump anything. Sooner or later, it's going to be like, if you want to move house and you need furniture, come to my area, bring a van. You're going to find a sofa. You're going to probably find an old fridge. You're going to find a table, a chair, rocket, and some probably kid toys, some clothes, and you can make yourself at home. I'd love to get some of the views of some of the other brothers, if you don't mind, Nasser. But stay on, mashallah, if you don't mind.
Assalamu brother.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Nice to have you on, brother. What you got to say?
Bro, these people, these Romanians especially, bro, they're the worst out of all of them. they're the worst. When I mean worse, yeah, you don't get worse than them, brother. Because every time I go to my auntie's area up in you know near Yorkshire, yeah, my word, the streets are polluted with sofas, chairs, they're all over the streets, brother. And the councillors do not give a damn, brother. The council are up on it, and they're all on scams anyway. All the councillors are doing scams. I know, bro, these councillors in Yorkshire, and they've got about 40, 50 houses, brother. And you ask me the question, where did you not get these 40, 50 houses from, councillors? They've ripped the system, brother, and they don't give a damn about anybody. So is to do the council, all these up there, brother, they don't care. All they care about is cash, money. And these guys, Romanians, brother, there is our control, bro. But the one thing, bro, you have to realize is, yeah, these lot here their root is from India. You know, these are Romanians. All their grandparents are from India. They go. That's why they've got they've got dark skin and they've got dark hair because they're from India. They go years ago and they
yeah, I know. I'm fully aware of their background, their history. Yeah, but I got to admit, brother, and I've got to kind of like nip this in the bud. We're not gonna say all Romanians. I know a lot of Romanian brothers who I know very well. They are very clean, sincere people. Not all the Romanians or Eastern Europeans or travelers are like this. I'm not going to, carpet everybody and brush them with the same brush. I've got to kind of push back on that, and I do apologize if I come across a bit harsh to you, brother. I don't want to come across harsh. But go on, brother. Go on.
No, but you know what it is? I'm just saying that the main people are causing all this trouble are these Romanians. The Polish are okay. The others are okay from the Eastern Europeans, but it's only this country, these Romanians are only causing this issue. There's no other country, brother, in Eastern Europe except these people, brother. And these lot here, bro, they don't care about anybody else. Because every time I go to my auntie's areas, they're all over. Everyone's complaining, and the council all up on it, and they don't give them anyway. So.
Okay, very interesting, brother. Mashallah, you just smashed it totally. You hit me for a 6, brother. Totally. So the next question I'm going to put to the panel, guys. Yeah, can you remember the last time you saw your local councillor, brother Omar? You go first. When's the last time you saw your local councillor? Do you know who he is? Or she is? Or it is?
Ain't got a clue. Can't remember last.
Brother Mustafa?
Get us.
Yes, brother.
You never actually see them. You never actually see them. They all want the vote. They all want the vote. Once they get in, it's like a.
But no, brother Omar, brother Sheikh Omar, you're older than me, and I love you for the sake of Allah. But we're not going to go to that channel right now. What we're talking about is that when obviously you haven't seen your local councillor for such a long time. Do you know who's the leader of the ward in your area? No. Okay. Okay. Same question to brother Mustafa. Brother Mustafa, do you know who your councillor is? And when's the last time you've seen them? Brother Mustafa, can you hear me, brother? Okay, I think he's probably a bit busy. Brother Nasser, can you remember the last time you saw your local councillor?
I don't actually, yeah. No. It'll be maybe about a good 7, 8 months ago. Yeah. And we did actually talk about wonderful ideas. We shared some wonderful ideas, but this is the problem, I think. They never fruit. So when you do meet I'm not like individually like targeting any councillor, but when you do meet them and you do tell them that the problems that you're facing, and yeah, they'll come out with like great, yeah, okay, fair, yeah, here's my number, yeah, and we need to meet up, but that's it. Then the frequency just goes dead. So, like I said, I think they need to engage more. And so rather pointing out people to the websites and giving them phone numbers, or if they could ring so and so. But like brother Ashraf, like a lot of these people's have probably never used a computer. Like if you ask my dad to report something online or to ring, he won't be able to do that. So I think being like brother was talking, because they're Pakistani, they're Apne, and I think they need to engage more. Yeah, so I think that's what they're lacking.
Interesting. Same question to you, brother. Judgment Day.
Brother, they only come down on elections, man. When the local elections happening, yeah, they'll come to houses there. They come to all the houses to collect the votes. That's all it is. After that, bro, they're gone. They're missing. The same people, brother. I tell you straight, brother. The same Labour Council as a customer, yeah, they're the only people that win every year. The same people, they're our cousins. And this guy, yeah, he knows the whole area. He knows the whole area. Pakswari, Istar, Khanabad, all of us are from these areas, yeah. So what he does, yeah, he comes to our houses, collects all the votes, wins every single year, and he doesn't give a damn about our area. But what can you do, brother, man? And
I'll tell you what, brother, mashallah, you are an amazing individual, and I really appreciate your input. I just want to mention that the councillors here in Fawzal area where I live, there's 3 councillors. We have Abdul Salam Khan, okay? And to be fair, I met him about a year and a half ago when the last time I saw him. He's actually a nice guy. He's actually a deputy leader of the Coventry City Council. He is very high up within the Coventry City Council. And to be genuinely, I actually think he's a nice guy because I've actually spoke to him, and he seems a very sincere guy. But maybe he's busy because he's got other roles to do. But I have not seen him for about a year and a half. But I do know where he is if I want him. Okay. And he's from the Labour ward. Then we got a sister called Shakila Nazir. She's from the Fawzal ward again, Labour Party. And she's based at the Muslim Resource Centre here in Coventry, if you ever want to speak to her. Okay. And the third one is Tariq Khan. I'm sure you brothers who are from Coventry know of Tariq Khan. And again, I've spoke to him and I've not seen him. I've spoke to him probably about 2.5, 3 years ago. And again, every time I spoke to him, he's been a very nice and sincere guy. But I've not seen him for about a year and a half or probably more. And he's from the Fawzal area, Fawzal ward, and he's not affiliated with any party. So he's partyless. I've actually called out people who went for the last elections, local elections here in Coventry. I actually asked them to come on and talk about what they wanted to do and change the area of Fawzal. And everybody was too shy or timid to talk about what they wanted to change and what can they offer. Because as you mentioned, brothers and sisters, in the chat and on the panel, is that they promise so much. And what do they deliver? Minimum things. The only thing I ever noticed what they ever delivered is dropping a little skip in little roads and streets just to get rid of the fly tipping. And that's like a one-off. And these people get paid quite a lot, guys.
Yeah,
they get paid a lot for expenses, for travel, and even for the telephone or anything. They get paid and they claim a lot of money. But unfortunately, I've never seen any of these 3 for the last 2 to 3 years. So that's my situation. The third question, guys, and I want to put this again across to everybody. What are the role of the councillors? Brother Omar, do you know the role of the councillors? Without Googling?
Well, basically, They're actually supposed to look after their constituents. Constituents can go and visit them, tell them the problem. Like we have fly tipping, it's ridiculous. Every year I clean the back entry to my house, and I've only got 2 neighbours who use it as well as me. At the moment, I've got 3 mattresses in there. Can I get them shifted? No. The council won't do anything, so it falls upon me because it's just they just don't do anything.
Good question.
They're supposed to look after the constituent. The constituents put them in, vote for them. But once we voted for, like many brothers say and sisters say, that's it. You don't see them again until next year.
Interesting. Brother Nasser, same question to you, just quick, without Googling. Do you know the role of the councillor? Do you know? Are you aware of it?
Councillors represent their wards, so I think they have a duty of care. I think for the people who live in their wards, but I think the problem is that I think there's lack of communication, and I strongly think that again, I don't want to keep on bringing this Muslim and Pakistani thing, and I think like most people I speak to, there's a lot of laziness in them. So they don't know how to engage with the people, engage with the public, to bring everyone together. So I think that's what we lack in Falls Hill. So although we're not saying it's totally 100% their fault, I think the people of Falls Hill, I think, are to blame in a way as well. Like, let me give you an example. Like last Ramadan, I challenged myself that I'll litter pick for the whole month. So every Saturday, I went on Falls Hill Road, and I litter picked because I joined a local litter picking group, and believe me, I was the only Muslim Pakistani in that group. And a lot of people are seen in there. There were English people who had come from different areas to come on a Saturday, like it was, and to just to clean. And for them, it was like a day out, and they were doing a good deed. So what I started doing is that I started advertising it as well, like within my own Muslim Pakistani community. And I noticed that there was lack of interest. And another thing I do want to mention on this panel is that there is a sort of stigma linked as well, especially to the Indian and Pakistani community, is where litter picking is seen somewhere as low. It's something that the low caste would do the litter picking. So I speak to many people, and they're saying, yeah, when time comes, then no, I can't do this. So I think there is like a stigma as well, where people feel like even like picking a packet of crisps or a can of Coke and just putting it in the bin. Like, how many people would you see that would do that? So I think, again, I don't want to keep on bringing it, but I think there is a cultural kind of problem here as well, where people see litter picking as something it's very low, and I think this is where the councils need to educate and to engage with the people. And I think mosques, temples, churches, I think they also have got like a duty here as well, because I'm sure everyone who drives down, they all see this. And even if in one of the meetings I had, one of the councillors was that when it was like a group meeting, and someone brought up is that the alleyways, and they were saying, I think the council need to clean the alleys, because obviously a lot of people getting rats coming in their garden, and it's a lot of mess. And their reply to that was that your entry is actually, it's got nothing to do with the council, although it's partly owned by the council, but it's partly owned by the resident. So then I told this councillor that I'll go, okay, but I clean mine every year, but my neighbour don't, and I can't force him to clean it because it's up to him. but you guys need to enforce it, because if it is causing rats, then I think that's an environmental issue, and I'm sure you can enforce that with all the neighbours. And I think that's something that would definitely the council need to push.
That's very interesting. You hit some very interesting points there, Brother Nasser. Thank you so much. Brother Judgment Day, the role of the council. I'm sure you Googled it by now. Go ahead.
Oh, bro, I don't need to Google this, brother.
Go
All
ahead.
hours, yeah, for the last 10, 15 years, brother. The council have been the same people running the area, and the main guy can't even speak hardly English, brother. The guy's from Pakistan. He's come here, but his families are known around here very well. That's the only reason why he's winning votes, brother. The guy can't speak English hardly, so to communicate with these type of people is hard anyway. And to be honest, yeah, nobody cares anymore here. Nobody cares anymore. Whatever happens in these areas anymore. So, and the imams don't care. All the imams are mostly about all they have is cash, money, raising up for what, bro? The youths are all smoking drugs, they're drinking alcohol here. Nobody cares about each other, bro. So they're giving up on everybody. They're giving up.
I know, definitely. But we got joining us the notorious friendly Muslim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, brother. How are you?
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brother. Alhamdulillah. All
Nice
right,
to have
not
you.
too bad. Not too bad, brother. Just recovering from this flu or whatever has been going around.
Yeah.
A
I've
lot of
got it as
people
well.
had this. I've had it for 2 weeks. So like first batch of antibiotics didn't do anything, and I'm just on my two more days to go. So I've been struggling with this one, but yeah, no, alhamdulillah, it's just on the verge of getting better. So I saw my beloved brother Sheikh Omar over here, so I wanted to definitely say Assalamu alaikum to our beloved brother. How are you?
Brother Sheikh Omar?
Here or not?
Has he muted himself?
Oh, okay, no
I
problem.
Something's happened with the 3.
We can hear you, brother. We can hear you.
Child. If you drop,
You're breaking. I don't know if he's breaking.
If you was caught throwing a piece of paper on the floor by a parent, you could and made to go and put it in the bin. The generations have gone along, and these kind of actions have disappeared. They were good actions, but these kind of actions have disappeared as the population has expanded in such vast amounts. People don't have the time and don't care. All they care about is what they're doing. They don't care whether they're going to upset the neighbour down the street. It's consistently the bottom of my street. The council come 3 or 4 times a week to clear mattresses, to clear, as you said, the trolleys and whatever. Education, all the way through. It's not there anymore.
Yeah, no, brother. I was watching a video on TikTok, and there was a brother walking around Coventry, and he was showing these pillars that are being removed. You know, like those big bollards, basically parking bollards, and they were removed, and the bases are just out, sticking out of the ground, basically, and the metal. And he was like, "Look at all of these things. They should be taken out. They've been knocked over or popped down, and people can fall over them, and cars are getting the tires done, or it's causing damage to cars, and they're getting stuck on them." So I think the economic climate, Corona, has had an impact, obviously, over the last couple of years.
There are some very controversial issues we've got to talk about, and we're going to wrap the show up pretty soon because there's another show starting soon. Am I correct, Brother Friendly Muslim? Is there shows
Yeah,
on your channel?
yeah. No, we're on EA Dower. We've got the Gauntlet at the UK time. You know, well, I was thinking we might be able to get some of these counselors up there, brother, and you know, run them through the Gauntlet, ask them some questions about, you know, what's going on. Oh, bollards get hang on. So, oh yeah, bollards get knocked off for metal. Oh, over for metal theft. Okay, that's what he was going on about. Yeah, I had no idea that was a thing. But yeah, no, but these should be fixed and replaced. So yeah, as Brother Gambit said, no arena today, postponed to next Friday. So we're running the gauntlet. So yeah, inshallah, I'll be heading there. Oh, now. But brother, just wanted to say salam alaikum. Good to see
Wa alaikum
everybody,
salam wa rahmatullahi wa
especially Sheikh
barakatuh.
Omar and.
Do you want to put the link in the chat, Brother Friendly Muslim, so the brothers and sisters can jump on as soon as it starts? And it's definitely recommend the brothers on this panel to check out the EA Dawa channel, and Brother Friendly Muslim's got his own channel. So alhamdulillah, if you want to put the link in the chat, feel free, and then inshallah we'll wrap up here pretty soon, and then inshallah we'll jump on to your
yeah, and any counselors out there, you know, anybody wants to, you know, have a little discussion on the gauntlet, let's get it hot and heavy. Let's talk about why things aren't getting done, because we're not having it.
But we've got to understand, brothers and sisters, Islamically, the Khulafa Rashidun, when they were in power and when they were authority in Medina, Mecca, and the Muslim lands, they would physically walk out themselves and check if somebody was hungry, or you know, or thirsty, or people were homeless. They would send food and look after the population, you know. And unfortunately, the Muslim counselors we have right now, I've not seen them for the last 3 to 4 years. I forgot what they even look like, unless I Google it myself and I'll see what, you know, remind myself what they look like. And they promise so much but deliver just empty words, you know, empty, just nothing. They don't give you anything. So, brothers and sisters, we've got to wrap the show up pretty soon, because I really want to go and check out Brother Friendly Muslim. Brother Nasser, I'll definitely recommend you to click onto that link and then, you know, go onto that channel. It's very beneficial. Islamically, it's very beneficial. And for those brothers and sisters new to my channel, this is like a one-off where I talk about the local area. Majority of my podcasts are kind of religious based, and you know, just to spread Islam and the beauty of Islam and so forth. And but yeah, final words from the brothers on the panel. Brother Judgment Day, do you want to go first?
Oh, yeah. Just that I don't think we're gonna get any success, man, because these days it's just all about cash, brother. The council are only interested in money. That's all they're interested in. You know, like years ago, the councils were okay. You know, they were actually helping us about 10, 15 years ago. But now it's all about money, brother. That's all they're interested in.
Very true. Very true, Akhi. Thank you so much. Nasser, final words from you.
Brother, I'm going to jump out because I've got to start off on the other stream. So
no worries. I'll come and join, inshallah. Jazakallah khair, brother. Assalamu alaikum.
I think what Folzil needs is a strong residents group. And I have been pushing this for quite a long while now. And again, I haven't got any good interest in it. I think it needs it because like, when we're a one voice, I think then we can make things happen. So I think anyone watching this or listening to this, I think this is something that we need to push forward. So we're all on one platform, regardless of our color, skin, or whatever. At least we're on one platform. I think that's what we need. Yeah, because
what's the name of the group, brother? Residence group you mentioned. Do you want to mention it? So if people want to, maybe have you got a Facebook page or anything like that?
Well, there is a page called Fix Folzil. So
okay,
I can send this link in the chat. So if
everyone, yeah, of course you can. Yeah.
So everyone is here who's actually is interested in actually cleaning up Folzil, then I'll post this in the chat. I think that's what we need, The more of us on board, I think there's more chances of getting things done. Like individually, we can make this noise, but I don't think so. It's gonna. Okay, so I'll put this, and I'll also put my name as I'll say if anyone wants to message me that can. So I think this is something that is as needed. Most other areas of country have got their own residence groups where people meet. They would discuss problems. So I'll post this name of this group. So okay, this is what it is, and okay,
So no
okay,
problem.
yeah. Although the name wasn't chosen by me, say do excuse that falls in politics. Yeah, although it's a non-political group. Yeah, okay, so that's my name. So if everyone is interested in joining this group, then please do so, because we are closing on to make a Folsel residence group.
So how long have you had this little organization for, brother?
Yeah, I think it's going on for over a year now. Over a year, yeah. So we've got people from mixed races, religions who have joined.
You know what, brother? I think what you should do, if you got good contact with them, get them onto a show like this.
Of course,
and
yeah.
More you advertise it, more you promote it.
I will, yeah.
And this will definitely spread the word, because this is going live around the world. So it's very important that we share these experiences, and maybe in the future that we can go through a procedure. If somebody's got any fly tipping, they want to report, how to report it, because sometimes there is a language barrier. And and it's good to educate the masses that this is how we should deal with the situation.
And also I'm adding this is really good as well. There's an app called Fix My Street.
Okay,
so so if you are actually walking down the street and you see something, anything, someone's parked not rightly, or antisocial behavior, or someone's fly tipped, and you can actually take a photo and upload it onto that. And this Fix My Street is actually linked to the council and the police. So I would definitely recommend that app as well. And I use it actually mostly every day. Yeah, because we had some Tesco trolleys as well dumped across my street, and I think there is a app where I think the council don't remove these trolleys. And the trolleys, what I've seen on Churchill Avenue, what's happening is that they're basically bins. Actually, people are start using them as bins. So the council will not remove a trolley unless you do it through a proper app that remove bins. No, I mean, sorry, trolleys. Yeah.
The problem I see, brother Nasser, is that, like I said, the past year or so, the Coventry City Council have made £3 million profit from giving out tickets to to park vehicles that are not parked correctly. And this is due to the number of cars in Folsel. There's so many cars, it's ridiculous. Every household has got 2 to 3 cars.
People
and of
selling
course
cars, repairing cars.
Exactly. And we have a big issue with people with scrap vans. So they're large tipping vans, which normally take up space for 1.5 car or a vehicle. So they're large, transport vehicles which are being parked, and it's difficult for the local community to kind of park their own personal vehicles. And another issue I do find, and is very disturbing, is when people park on curbs. So if a young lady's got a pushchair and a baby, she has to physically go onto the road on oncoming traffic to go around the dodgy parked vehicle. And the people who own the vehicle are just looking at, like, I don't care. There's nothing, there's no guilt aspect, there's no God-fearing anymore. Am I making sense, brothers?
Yep, I agree with that, definitely, yeah. It's like as the soul's dead, so they don't care about any other people or any other road users. Yeah, it's disgusting.
It is. Alhamdulillah. Brother, it's been really great having you on, and I really appreciate your time.
Mashallah. Thank you for inviting as well. And
you're welcome, brother. You're welcome. But I would love to carry on with this type of discussion, maybe like once a week or something, just to get more people on. and get this more, because this has to be put out to the
it has to.
It has to be, and more people are watching this and going to listen to this in the future, and and when you forward it on, and then people will kind of take note, and we get more people on, inshallah. Brother Judgment Day, final words from you. Oh, he's gone. Mashallah, I think his judgment's come. I think he's gone. Subhanallah. But alhamdulillah, it's been a very interesting show. And I've been quite loud and quite passionate about it because it does irritate me, because I live in this area. I've been here over 50 years, and it's quite sad to see the decay of this area and how bad it's gone. So brothers and sisters, thank you so much for coming on and your input in the chat. Some brothers has made some good jokes, and I really appreciate the jokes. Mohammed A have come out very, very funny. The way to get the job done is to give Kashmiri tea, and halwa gets the job done. So that's the secret. If you want a job done from the councillors, is to invite them to your house, give them Kashmiri tea and some Asian sweets. That's well said, brother. Well said. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in and liking and subscribing. And brother Nasser, thank you so much once again for joining me. And I'm hoping we can hopefully continue this maybe next week and go from there, inshallah. Thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, brother Nasser. Brothers and sisters, I'm going to jump on to the EA Dawah stream now and then maybe get some interaction on that. Thank you, guys, for tuning in once again. And this is your brother Mohammed Abu Shuaib from CovFF. And inshallah, see you very soon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.